Hi guys, today I have a bit of a spontaneous video. I'm going to be sharing how I made this notebook into a pocket notebook, so it has pocket pages. I wasn't going to do a video on it, I was just going to share some photos on Instagram, but I thought, you know what, it's probably one of those things where a video would come in pretty helpful to explain. This notebook is from ohdear.com. I got this in one of my paper gang boxes and I decided that it was going to be where I stored my completed travelling mail, well, the postcards. The notebooks, I probably will just keep them as little notebooks in themselves. But yeah, the postcards, I wanted something to store them in that I could obviously take them out and look at both sides if I wanted to. So I was trying to think of ways that I could make this notebook into a bit more of a practical storage system for the finished travelling postcards. To begin with, I was going to stick some paper onto each page, but the paper in here is actually quite thin, so if I'd done that they would have probably ripped quite easily. But yeah, so I figured out this way of doing it. So I've converted the amount of pages that I need to store the current postcards that I've got. So I am going to do the rest of this whole entire notebook so it's all ready for when I need to add travelling postcards into it. These are the only travelling postcards I have received back so far since doing travelling mail. So in comparison to how many I've sent, I haven't had that many back, but the fact that these have made it around, I don't want to say the world because they haven't been around the world, but some of these have been back and forward to America, they've been all over Europe, so yeah, the fact that they've made it back to me in one piece is pretty amazing. If you haven't heard of travelling mail before, I'll have a link below to the Facebook group that I created to kind of just help people connect with others who are doing travelling mail. So yeah, you can find out a bit more about it there, but I am going to do a video at some point on travelling mail in general because there's so many ins and outs, and I have been meaning to do an updated video on that, but I want to make sure I've got everything down on a little notepad before I start so I don't miss anything. But I thought I'd share this anyway because even if you don't do travelling mail, or you might just do post crossing or something like that where you've got postcards that you want to store somewhere, this is a really quick way to turn any sort of notebook into some sort of pocket notebook so you can store things in it. So all you need is a notebook, obviously, a glue stick, some washi tape, a craft knife, a ruler which preferably has some sort of metal protection or like strip down the side so you don't cut the ruler, and a cutting mat. They do look quite bare, but I am planning to add like a little map or something on each of these and go through all the places on the postcard and dot them on the map. I've not got around to doing that just yet, but that can be something I can do as and when I have the time. For now, I'm just going to show you how to make the pockets, which they are double-sided, so each page has like one on the front and one on the back. So to begin with, you just want to take 2 pages and you want to pop the craft mat underneath the 2 pages, so you will be cutting them together. I went halfway down the page, but you can do it like a third of the way or a quarter of the way or something, depending on what works for you with the size of notebook you have. The height of this notebook is about 20 centimetres, it's just over, so I'm just making a few marks at 10 centimetres. Once you've done that, you just want to cut a little slit down the middle of both of the pages, so you want it to go through both of the 2 pages that you separated. I go quite close to the edge, but it completely depends again on the width of like the postcards or whatever you're putting in there. Some of the postcards that I had were a bit wider, so I had to go a bit further to the centre of the book, and some of them were a bit thinner, so I didn't go quite as far to the edges. But yeah, so once you've done that and you've definitely gone through both sides of the paper, you're going to want to glue the top sections together, so just these 2 bits together. You're going to want to leave these 2 not glued, so you just want to get all of this section covered in glue. So once it's covered in glue, you just have to squish the pages back together and try to make sure that they stay straight. So you should have the top sections glued together and these bits are still like a pocket. Once you've done that, you're going to want to take some washi tape and you're going to want to put a strip down this side and then fold it over on the back and try and make it as neat as possible, and then you need to put a strip down the bottom. Once you've done the bottom strip, it does turn it into a pocket. The top strip that I do is kind of just so it looks neat. It doesn't really make a difference if you have washi on the top or not, the pocket still works as it should. But yeah, the bottom and the sides of the page definitely need washi on to make them into a pocket, and that's basically it. You have a pocket on that side and you've also got a pocket on this side too. Obviously they join up into the same pocket. As I said, I'm going to decorate these pages so they're not going to be completely blank all the time. So yeah, that is how I've turned a notebook into a pocket notebook. I'm really tempted to try doing this with something a bit smaller, like a tiny little notebook. Even for a travelling notebook, I think it'd look quite cool. So like giving everyone a tiny little card to fill in and then pop it back in the notebook. I don't know, I've got lots of ideas in my head that I want to try out, so hopefully this has inspired some of you guys to give it a go, whether you do travelling mail or not, or whether you are a post crosser or not. But yeah, let me know below if you have tried it, tag me in a photo if you're on Instagram, and as always, if you have any questions then leave them below as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.